Hey guys, Vazzy back here, and today it is time for episode 7 of our Calgary Flames franchise mode here in NHL 24. In today's video, we will be tackling the off-season here in year number 2, going through the draft, free agency, and all of that, and getting prepared for year 3. This will be the first of the franchise mode videos here, recorded with the new microphone. Not too sure when this is going live on the channel, but anything after this will be using the new mic setup. But with that all being said, let's get into today's episode here and start off the off season. So taking a look here at the lines that we are running this last season, before we get into the off season where we can't see this, we have a couple of guys that are going to be UFAs, guys like Nick Bukestad, Mike Hoffman, Andrei Kuzmenko. Those are the big 3 forwards that are all going to be UFAs this summer. Defensively, I don't think there's too much Wolf Donsk in the net. So we're going to have some choices to make here. I'm not really too sure if we want to re-sign any of these guys. Like going to extensions, I'm just not too sure. I think we're probably better off in just in free agency. A guy like Kuznetsov, good bottom pairing guy, we can give him his contract right now. It's not a problem. Poirier, I actually do see making the team, so we can give him 2 years, $800K. Very low risk, high reward guy, still has medium top 4 potential. But really outside of that, we don't have a ton of stuff to really worry about this free agency. Goaltending wise, again, we're going to have some money available for this team that we can spend and try and look to upgrade on a few positions. So with that being said, let's just continue to simulate here. Poirier does accept and Kuznetsov accept their extensions as we will head toward the draft lottery here. I'm not actually too sure what draft picks we have this year. I think we have that Florida first, if I'm not wrong, that we got in the Tkachuk trade, but we'll have to see. I don't believe we have our own first, unfortunately. As we go through the off season, or the playoffs here, sorry. Looks like everything is over, and the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup in this season. Take a look at the playoff tree and the awards here quickly. So Boston, they beat Vegas in the finals. They also beat the Rangers, the Leafs, and the Sabres on their route to the Stanley Cup. So there's a look at the playoff tree if you guys were interested at all. Going to the awards. Quick look at the team awards. Individual, Matthews gets the Art Ross and the Hart Trophy. Makar with the Norris. Pasternak, Lady Byng. Calder goes to Shane Wright. Pasternak gets Conn Smythe. Hill gets the Vezina. Skinner, William M. Jennings. Barkov gets the Selke. Matthews with the Ted Lindsay. And Pasternak does also get the Maurice Rocket Richard. So, looks like Matthews and Pasternak both had very, very good seasons this year. Sim up here just a couple of days before the draft lottery and see what happens here. So, hey, look at that. We actually won the draft lottery. Calgary moves with the Florida pick. There you go. That's huge. So we move from 5 to 2, and there's Montreal with our pick there at like 12, 13 there. So who can we get at number 2? That's going to be Hagens, right? Yeah. So we have a couple of made-up guys. Miknov, franchise sniper, that would be really, really nice. But yeah, James Hagen's probably going to be our guy here. I think he starts off with a little bit of a lower overall than probably some of these created guys, but I know he does have high elite potential opposed to medium elite, so I think that is going to more or less be the slam dunk choice for us here at the NHL entry draft. Looking at some of the retired players here, Mark Giordano, Flames legend. Nick Bonino was on our team this year for a leak, another guy that was a Flame. There's a look at the retirement. Antti Ranta is the biggest name goalie, followed by Jonas Enroth. So nothing too crazy when it comes to retirements for this year for players. Getting through all of this stuff on our way to the draft. I can't believe we actually won the draft lottery here. That is going to be huge and really change the team dynamic here this season. So the Blues, I don't think they'd have any reason to move the pick. Not on the block. Conservative buyer, I don't see it happening here, unfortunately. Still, I am not upset at all with number 2 here. Let's see if there's anyone that we really want to unload here at the draft. Just kind of want to go through our players, see if there's any contracts we want to free up. Let's see here. So Kuzmenko, Hoffman, Those guys, Bukestad, they're not going to really have a ton of value. Sharangovich is going to be a little bit overpaid. Backlund, he's making a lot. Coleman's making a good amount. Tanev, I think we can maybe move on from him. He dropped off pretty big this year. Still making $4+ million. Get a 3rd round pick, that's not bad. 71 offers out there. Is there anything that really stands out to us? Because we get almost more or less $5 million back, just below. That's not too bad. That's someone that we can definitely sign in free agency with that money, get a better defenseman, and a bit of an upgrade. You know, a lot of prospects and just low round picks. Anything else out there? Honestly, this is kind of interesting. 3rd and Decord. Decord could be our backup. Honestly, why not? I don't mind getting him in there. We had some issues with Anton Forsberg this past season, so need an upgrade on that backup goaltending position. So we get that and a 3rd round pick to move out almost $5 million of Chris Tanev. Really, outside of that, is there anyone else we really want to move? Maybe Coleman? But outside of that, I think that's probably fine at this point. So the Blues do take the medium franchise Mikhnov here. 83 overall. 90s all over in the shot. Lots of X factors. Going to be a very, very good player for the Blues. James Hagens. 87 points, 67 games. Going to be a playmaker. This guy is going to be an absolute monster for us. Samuelson, he's going to be good as well, but I just know Hagens has that high elite, so we have to go with him here. And he actually is 78 overall. I've seen him as low as 76, just depending on how he actually grows. So 78, we can maybe look at him, having him in the lineup. I might give him a year just to develop though before we make that call. So next pick is actually at 140th. Is there anyone here that we are going to want to trade up for in the meantime? Go to the draft class here, sorting it by potential. So we have a lot of those top end guys that we already know about. Daigle, we don't really need him with having Dustin Wolf. I gotta say the scouts really letting us down here. I think that's something we're definitely gonna have to overhaul in the summer. I don't know if I did that last summer, so might need to upgrade that a bit, fire some guys and bring in some new ones, because it's not great. Honestly though, let's maybe go and just ship off Coleman here. I wouldn't mind getting that almost another $5 million off the books. He's 83 overall, he had 25 goals, 17 assists, but he has like 3 years left at $5 million. I think we can probably use that money somewhere else. It would just be more effective for the team. Again, we can get some decent later round picks. 30 offers out there from teams is not bad. Philip Nassar there. Don't really want to fleece any teams either. So send him out. 2nd round pick to the Penguins. You know, honestly, it's not bad. He had a productive year last year, so sending him out east. Go to pick 140 here. I'll go back to the 1st round, let you guys see the rest of the draft class. Samuelson was that 80 overall, so a little bit better than Hagens, but I think in the long run he will be the better player. Outside of that, a couple of made-up guys, but a lot of the guys that I've just added to the draft class myself. You have one of the Grieva brothers there, looking like a pretty good 1st round. But who is available at pick 140? The answer is not all that much, unfortunately. 3/4 low elite. You have that Eriksson. Man, the scouts really let us down here. We can barely find like a medium top 9. I guess let's just go for Grossman. It's not the worst value. Not good either. 50 overall. It's kind of rough, but who knows? He can maybe be a trade ship being medium top 9. He'll have some value with that potential. Outside of that, who do we have with our next pick? Honestly, Eriksson. I have a feeling he's going to be a medium bottom 6 player, but 2 bars, medium top 6. Who knows, maybe he's a medium top 9, and that's actually not a horrible pick. And yeah, he is medium bottom 6. Not a great draft outside of Hagens. And we go to the last pick of the NHL entry draft this year. Is there anyone out here? Niskala, Grinder. There's potential being medium top 6, but definitely not going to be. Peluso, actually, that could be interesting. Hedberg. He is going to be picked sooner. Maybe we go with him. Niskala. Let's go with Niskala. Medium bottom 6, so more or less expected. Don't think there was really a good pick there later in the draft, but the scouting, everything, we definitely need to redo that here desperately. So scouting, coaches, I will go take care of that myself. You guys do not need to see this. Let us go in here and just take a look at all our players and who needs to be re-signed and extended. So Kuzmenko, gonna let him go. Hoffman, we are gonna let him go too. Both don't want extensions. Bukestad, it's not horrible. We'll leave him for now. Perry can go. Kodiak, 2 years, that's not a bad deal. Could be a good AHL defenseman. Solovyov, we'll just qualify him for now. Stanlin, we don't need him. Dueler, we don't need him as well. Just be clearing out a lot of these guys here. So I'll have to make sure to remember to sign a couple of guys for the AHL just to fill out the rest of the roster. Gonna have a few spots available, that's for sure. A lot of these guys getting released. Bruce Wicks, definitely need to give him his ELC. Medium top 4 defender, can play in the AHL next year. Same with Morin, obviously. Could be okay for us. Kearns, can probably just give him a 1-year deal. Probably won't be anything. Suneyev, give him his ELC. Pinsky, you know, why not? Medium top 9, 68 overall, it's not too bad. Goaltending wise, Decord, doesn't want too much. His stats looking like 904, 304. Was the starter in Seattle. Just go 1 year, just go cheap. He can be the backup for Dustin Wolf this year. Hopefully those numbers can come up a bit, and if he plays bad, we're not stuck with him either. Mangalese, give him a 1-year deal. Pietro Lindbergh, don't need either of those two guys here. So that's going to more or less do it for that. Let us go see here who accepts those deals, as we will have a lot of scouts, everything like that, signing on. Decord, Kearns, Bruce Wicks, Morin, Lipinski, Suneyev. Looks like everyone more or less accepted our offer. So just going back to expiring, Nick Bukestad, what do we want to do with that guy? 83 overall, 32 years old, doesn't want a lot of money, 41 points, 28 games. Honestly, maybe we can keep him for the third line. He's not going to be getting his top line ice time like he was this past year. But, you know, if he takes a 1-year deal at 2.25, low risk, low reward, even if he drops off a bit, it's a movable contract, and yeah, he does actually take that, so I think that's a pretty good value signing for Bjorkstad. Can definitely produce in the bottom 6, as yeah, like I said, we have a bunch of scouts re-signed. We only ended up keeping about 6 of the 20, so I'm gonna have to sign a ton again in free agency, which will not be an issue at all. But there we go, at July 1st. So this is kind of what I have the team looking like this year. Gonna need a top line winger, 2 bottom 6 forwards, and then a middle 6-ish defender. So it's nothing too crazy that we're gonna need, but there is gonna be a few pieces that we will definitely have to pick up in free agency. So I have gone out and sent out all the offers for scouts and coaches. Everything is getting completely redone here this season. Looking at extensions here quickly, Anderson doesn't want an extension, but we need to get this guy signed on. Heart of the team. What if we try a 6-year at 8.25? It's not horrible for an 87 overall. Send it and see what he says. Other than that, Wolf, he's gonna get a lot of money from us, that's for sure. Yeah, it just gets crazy long term. We will deal with that next year when he is an RFA. But with all that more or less being taken care of, let's go and look at the free agent class, and Mikko Rantanen right off the bat. That could be huge. 93 overall. I don't know. Take care of the bottom 6 guys first here. Kuzmenko, we could bring him back for that sniper top line. No, we don't need him. Drouin, Fabry. Honestly, like Shredden, guy like that, I think he's decent defensively, decent physically. Could be a perfect guy for that 4th line left wing. Give him like a 1-year 2.65, see what he says to that. Don't hate that contract. Check out the right wingers now. Who can fit the 4th line? Can Esimont, Logan O'Connor. Good defensively, alright physically. 81 overall. Esimont I like, he's not as good defensively. He has like VC Brown. Yeah, let's try Logan O'Connor. See if he'll take a 1-year like 1.85. We're gonna have the money, so Not the biggest issue when it comes to that. Defensively, we have Lindgren. That's interesting. That's not bad. Fabro. A lot of these guys are not great and they want a lot of money. Lindgren is a UFA, but he wants like 6. Great defensive defenseman. I just can't really justify that. Suter. Honestly, maybe Middleton if he'll take like a 1-year deal. I don't know if that's really realistic. Gabrikov, 84 overall. He's going to want a longer term deal at this point in his career though. Yeah, maybe Middleton too. Honestly, let's just try a 1-year deal at like $5 million on Jacob Middleton. It's not going to bring us anything offensively, but very, very solid all around defensively. Goaltenders, we are fine. Now, do we sign Rantanen? 80 points. He's a UFA, 81 games. Takes a lot of shots. Fit perfectly with Zari and Huberdeau. I say, it's hard to say. Let's maybe throw our name to the hat. Go 7 years at like, no one else is interested. Let's just go 12.5. Salary cap's increasing. If he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. There's an offer out for Mikko Rantanen. So let us go up a couple of days here to the 5th and the 6th. Gonna have a ton of scouts here signing on. Made like close to 20 offers on scouts and coaches. So first couple of days, that's more or less all you're gonna see here. But we also have stuff like the Anderson extension coming in, a couple of free agent guys. So big offseason here in Calgary. Let's see who is sticking on as we get to the 4th almost here. Man, there's a lot of guys signing on here. Should start seeing some players here in the next day or two, as we're still getting through all these guys. Holy. So there we go. Trennan, so that's big for the bottom 6. Logan O'Connor, there's our 4th line taken care of. Middleton does accept that 1-year deal. Love that. Next day, Anderson does resign. Didn't want the extension, but he takes the money, 8.25. And Mikko Rantanen, there is our franchise piece right there. 93 overall. That is huge for us. So there is our top line winger that we needed. Outside of that, I kind of want to get a sniper player for the 3rd line. I don't think again will be ready. I had him penciled in there, but I think you could use 1 more year in junior. Don't really know who I want. Probably going to be a 3rd line player. Could go like a Sam Bennett, bring him back to Calgary. 4th overall pick of the Flames years and years ago. No one else here is really standing out. You have Sprong. Honestly, let's make Bennett a 1-year offer. $3 million. Takes it, he takes it. He doesn't. No one else is interested as well, so gonna need a couple of 2-way guys later on too. I have to remember. Advancing a couple of days. Do we get Sam Bennett? He will not sign the contract, going to the Canucks. So again, who else is out here? We still do need an option on that 3rd line. Could bring back Mike Hoffman. I think we're okay. Maybe Vetrano. 85 overall. I'm not asking for a ton of money. It's definitely an option. You have Dadonov, but you're starting to get into the 82s and lower. Mangiapane down there. Honestly, let's go and see maybe what Vetrano would want. If we go like 2.8 and maybe get him for 2 years, like that's a steal of a contract for an 85 overall. I don't know if he takes it, but I don't think anyone else was interested, so let's see what Frankie Vetrano says to that. Get a couple of trade offers coming in here from Seattle. Burakovsky, don't need him. Making a lot of money. Vetrano, what are you going to say? Goes to Buffalo. That's unfortunate. So getting a little bit slim here when it comes to free agents. Like who else is really out here? Like Hoffman, like I said, but just not really interested in bringing him back. Sprong, what do you do? 12 goals, 17 assists. It's underwhelming. I don't know. Nothing else here is really standing out to me. Honestly, maybe we just wait and see what Ginlas is growing to. Maybe Hagens too. I didn't really consider him in the plan, so as long as one of those guys is good, should be fine. I'll sim to the start of the season, sign some 2-way guys, and I'll check back where we're at. So looking at the lines here in the start of the preseason, the first line of Huberdeau, Zari, and Rantanen. That's going to be a very, very good top line. Those two just dishing the puck to Rantanen could be dangerous. Second line of Coronado, Kadri, and Peltier. Again, that's could be a really good line if we just get them to click offensively. Sharangovich, Hagens, who I did sign to his ELC. Gillen just wasn't ready at this point, only a 75 still, so sent him back to juniors. They'll be playing with Bukestad on that third line. In the fourth lineup, Logan O'Connor, Michael Backlund, and Jakob Trenin. Defensively, we have Uyghur and Anderson on that top pairing. Poirier, who grew to an 83 overall, absolutely love to see that. Playing alongside with Middleton, who was recently signed. Sam Dickinson playing alongside Brandstrom on the third. He got his ELC as well. Should be a very solid defenseman for us going forward. Wolf and DeCorder are goalies. Wolf grew to a 90. It's going to cost us a lot of money next offseason. And the scratches are Pospisil and Kuznetsov at the moment. So I am expecting quite a bit from this team. This should be the first year where we do try and get back to the playoffs. I think we have the roster to do it. You go out, you sign a guy like Rantanen. At that point, you kind of have to go for it. So let's go through the preseason here, kind of look at all these stats, and then we'll wrap up today's video and get everything set up for the start of season number 3 here in Calgary. Rantanen, that was just a short-term injury. Nothing going on there with the roster. That should be all good. As we come toward the conclusion of the preseason, we finished 4-2-1. So, very respectable record here in the preseason. Take a look at the point scores as Rasmus Anderson leads the way with 6. Hagens, hey, there you go, putting up 5 in the preseason. It's good to see. Peltier, Trenton putting up 5 there. Coronado, he put up 3. Zari 3. Huberto. Rantanen only 1 point. It's a little concerning. It's only preseason, but expect a little more. Dustin Wolf 4-2, and Decord was 0-1. So not a horrible result here in the preseason. But next episode, I do plan on going through the first 41 games of the regular season. We'll kind of sit and see where we are, and we'll reassess from there. But I do think that is going to do it for this video, just getting everything ready from the off season. I will see you guys in episode 8, where we will start the simulation.